Hey everybody, welcome back to Fed Up Vodcast, soon to be renamed as Mosh Shinobi. I'm the Eternal Miserable One, Fed Up guys. Join me today are Kristof and Tony from Left Eye Perspective. How is it going today, gents?
Very nice, yeah, indeed.
All ready for the holidays?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll do have to work, but I don't care. So
yeah. I'm still very much work in progress on that side as well. We'll get there. Bit last minute, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you very much for having us, guys.
You're both very welcome. I've been looking forward to it in a while. Could you please both just tell us a little bit about what you do in the band as well, just for those who maybe have not heard Left Eye Perspective before?
sure.
Yeah, so I'm Kristof, and I play the rhythm guitar, and I do the vocals. So I'm the singer of the band. That's what I do in the band. Yeah.
And my name is Tony. I'm the drummer of the band. So yeah, I drum, of course.
Hey, well, a great place to start. I always like to look at the artwork, and I can see in the background, Kristof, the vinyl. So, could you perhaps could we have a little closer look at that? That's and we
Sure.
can talk about the artwork as well. Ooh,
Mhm.
oh, that is nice. Oh, I love the lettering. It's kind of got that.
Mhm.
It's kind of got like a retro and sci-fi vibe in one. The fonts,
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, indeed.
really like that. And
Yeah.
that's nice on the back as well. And you see
Yeah.
like the eclipse there, and like
Hmm.
the demon in front of like blood moon or something, I think.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
who did that artwork for you, and did you give them free reign, or did you work with them to get that idea?
Well, normally if we record an album, we always
Yeah.
want to do a concept album. So we have a main theme, and then all the other songs are uh, directly or indirectly related to that central theme. And we started from there. So for us, Conundrum, Conundrum is an interesting word, I think, because I looked it
Mm,
up. It also exists in Dutch, but it has a much more narrower um, definition. But in English, it's well, you can
It's
go
broader, yeah.
different directions with
yeah,
conundrum. Can be a puzzle, can be
yeah.
uh, something conflictual or something like that. And yeah, for us, that was the main theme. Especially, we are always confronted in our lives with certain situations in which we have to make decisions, or whether it's bad or good. So that was a central theme, and then we thought, yeah, we need some beast or something like that, and
Some kind of
that's when
demon
you're on the
indeed.
crossroad, when you have to make these decisions and so on. And we started from there, and then actually our bassist Yellow, who isn't here today, but he started to look for artists online who made such stuff, because it's all made with a pencil, so it's not
Whoa,
or
wow.
something like that.
Yeah.
And he found that guy, and yeah, and then we chatted and so on, and this came up, so we were very delighted with seeing that, of course.
It's a
Mhm.
beautiful piece of artwork, and I think seeing it on vinyl now, I think really does it even more justice. I've talked with a lot of bands so far about uh, releasing vinyl runs purely for that reason, to showcase the art. A lot of people now collect vinyl as art pieces. They have it on the wall as like a picture. I know
Mhm.
it's very expensive, but seeing
Mhm.
that, and when you brought it close to the camera, I mean, I already liked the artwork, but
Yeah,
you
thank
can tell that's special. And now hearing it's being done by pencil as well, I mean,
you. Mhm.
that's painstaking process, but very beautiful. And does the demon, or the monster on the front, does that represent the title conundrum, as you were saying, about somebody being faced with this problem? I guess this matches the themes on the album. And
Mhm.
like, how do I deal with this monster? How am I going to get past this monster? Say that's controlling my life. It's
Yeah.
like a metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that, for us, that was important. The cover of the album, it shouldn't be just a monster or something. It
Mm.
really had. It was important that it had a meaning.
Mm.
in relation to the title of or the main theme of the album, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like some of the greatest monsters can live within us or can be human beings themselves. So it's nice you've got that deeper meaning, as you rightly said, behind the imagery. I feel with extreme metal, again, I feel like I repeat my points on every show. People do stuff, but people can get the wrong idea. They'll see the artwork or sometimes the themes and things. All right, they're all crazy, violent people, etc. But I always say to people, like, look beyond the surface. They often can be hidden meanings there. There's something deeper. It's not just what you see at first glance. Think of it how you would watch like a play or a drama on TV. The subtleties.
Yeah.
That's the best way we're putting it. It's all just art. It's just different forms of art.
So we're not only the rough guys from the outside. We have some stuff inside we're dealing with, and that's our way to process it sometimes and present it and share it with the world.
I've noticed. I wondered what both your thoughts are on this. And this is, I'm saying this based on the conversations I've had with many guests on the show so far. And there's a lot of bands from various genres are actually doing concepts around the human existence, the human condition, mental health, how we deal with these monsters. And I've said to them all, I think this has kind of resulted from all of us being in lockdown, from COVID, how that's kind of affected people. And it's maybe, I guess, a positive out of that is it's highlighting that, people are struggling and they need that help out there. So I just wondered, has that had any influence on the concept, or is this something that was always important to both of you anyway?
I think it was always important. I'm not sure if COVID really influenced that. At least not for me, because I write the lyrics and so on. So, but yeah, and if you compare it to other work or other things that we recorded, I think this one is very personal. It really deals with issues that we experienced ourselves, or relatives or something like that. So people close to us, and there are themes like I don't know, depression, or Alzheimer or something like that. These kind of things that you are confronted with in your life, which is I think quite normal for a lot of people. And the question is always how do you deal with that, and what decision do you make? And I think most songs really have the message that every cloud has a silver lining, but not every song ends like that, because sometimes you also decide to make bad choices or something like that. So I think that's quite normal. So yeah, it's very personal, I think, and we discussed it with the band because although I write lyrics, it was important, of course, to also express the feelings of the other band members, and therefore we discussed that beforehand, whether or not everyone agreed to make such a personal album. And everyone agreed. So yeah.
So is that the way is that the way you've always done it as well? All the members involved in the creative process, getting that feedback. What do you think, say, of this part of the music, this riff, this drum section in here? Does this work? Do these lyrics? It's interesting because looking at your early releases as well, and your own concepts, you've got like the 27th release, The Wanderer, then Defiance, now Conundrum. So it's an interesting set of titles. I've only recently discovered the band, through the submission I got from Against PR, I think it was. Yeah. So that is very interesting hearing that. So the opening track, I always like to go through all the tracks in an album, do a deep dive. So Arrivals, was that always intended to be your starting point for Conundrum?
Well, we wanted to start with a bang, actually.
We do have some songs that have some slower intros, but we'd like to come in with a bang, like Kristof says. So,
it's thunderous, isn't it?
Yeah, thunderous indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I once read it in an article with, well, I don't know who, but someone famous in the metal genre, and he also said, just start with the best or the heaviest thing that you have, and start with that instead of building the record gradually to a climax or something like that. Just start with the climax. And that was the reason that we did that.
It certainly grabs you. They always say that when you're playing live as well, start for that reason, get everybody's attention. It certainly does. One thing I noticed through listening to the whole album is there is some monstrously heavy riffing, really heavy parts, aggressive vocals, and it's quite and it tricks the listener, I feel, because there's times when it goes into this kind of melodic part, even a proggy section, and you've got the clean vocals, and you've got this nice little rhythm, then all of a sudden, smash, straight back into all the ferocity. And I felt that it was really well done. It was subtle. It added that little bit of atmosphere, and then you're back to those monstrous riffs. Could certainly hear the Mastodon influence. I was thinking, man, this is like if someone's took Mastodon and really amped up all the sludge and bang, hitting you more ferocious. And I was like, man, yeah, that's what it was. It was very enjoyable. So,
thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. Is that I am going to come back to Arrivals in a moment. I'm just curious because as I say, I'm a new listener to the band. So, has this just naturally always manifested with your music, that style of playing, going through that option, or does it depend on the concept?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's because the chemistry between me and our lead guitarist Kim is that is the reason, I think, because I'm more the riff guy, and he's very melodic. He has very good musical ear. He also he played the violin from, I don't know, from childhood. So he's really into notes and a lot of melodies, and I think that's a perfect combination.
Yeah.
And of course with that rhythm section, who is very precise and very on time. I think that works pretty well. So.
Yeah, I have more like a post-rock background when I was younger, so all those influences come together, and then you get something like these songs on our album, which sometimes are very loud and for the face, but then can switch to more melodic, more proggy style to take you away, and then kick you back in the face with again a loud riff, like you said.
And of course Mastodon is a huge influence, although it's also tricky because you don't want to sound like Mastodon.
That's a very good point, Kristof, because now I feel with all the technology we have in the net, it's great, we can talk like this obviously, but we've also got oversaturation where you don't want it to sound too much, say, like an influence or this band where someone's saying, oh, well, it's just this band with a different singer or whatever. So it's still finding your own identity, putting your own spirit in there, which I feel you do with those sections that we've all just been discussing. Makes it an interesting, enjoyable listen. And the other thing I noticed is the vocals, both clean and aggressive, the drums and those rhythm sections and riffs, they all flow nicely in time. No one is drowning out the other. I've said this before, sometimes you can get bands who can approach music like this and drown out the vocals, where you can't hear the vocals well. I feel everything is connected very well. So with that said, did you take extra time recording the album to make sure everything was right? Did it make the process longer?
Yeah, for sure. It has to be right, obviously. But I as a musician, I want to be as versatile as I can, and we always start from the music, and then we put vocals on it, and I do everything from the heart. So if the music demands me to use clean vocals, then I will use clean vocals. But if the music is quite aggressive, then of course it has to be a little bit heavier and so on. So actually, the music dictates what I do with my vocals, I think.
Mm.
It's like that, yeah. Because I really don't want to be the band that I'm always screaming, for instance. And of course, there are bands that decide to do that, and that's fine. That's no problem, of course. But I want to go in different directions and
keep it.
what I can do and discover things. In that way.
Yeah, keep adding those different layers. I better behave myself and ask themes going forward. Wait till near the end of the conversation. I'm starting to get excited now. So, Arrivals, that's an interesting title as well. So, could you both tell us a little bit about the themes behind the lyrics and how you decided on matching the music to those concepts?
Yeah, so Arrivals is the opening track of the album, and it's actually the beast that's speaking, and actually he's very vulnerable. I think if you read the lyrics, has a lot of stress, also has to deal with his own issues and so on. So I thought that was an interesting perspective to frame it like that.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I have to admit, I'm not very a lyrics kind of guy. Always, I'm the one who remembers the melody and the rhythm from every song, but always forgets every lyric. So that unfortunately includes some of our own songs. So, but I do make a translation. That the older feeling that Kristof says, the tension and all, I feel it in the music and the riffs and the accents in the drum. So that's more my approach to stuff. As the lyrics are fantastic, of course, but I'm more the one who try to pinpoint the little tensions I can put into the riffs or little accents and try to make the tension that Kristof does with his lyrics. Try to translate it with my drumming as.
Yeah, because the main goal was actually to humanize that beast, and yeah, he's also looking at the things he did, and maybe he's also sorry about certain decisions and so on. So that was the perspective that we had with that particular song.
Yeah, showing as well how how that person became the beast or who the beast used to be. I was going to ask you, Tony, as well, and you mentioned it, which I thought was a good answer, that you see the lyrics and then you translate that musically. And I was going to say, do you see the title, those words, and then get those kind of emotions and feeling and then translate that into the music? And then you obviously mentioned that, so I thought that was great. It's like as they say, music's a universal language. So
yeah, indeed.
Speaking without words there.
I don't have a microphone behind my drumming, so I have to do it with my drum kits. So I try to translate feelings and with my drum, and of course with my colleague Jelly on the bass. We make a nice rhythm section. So it's always very, very nice to feel when stuff comes together.
Yeah.
That's amazing feeling. Sure. It's always great,
yeah. So moving on to the second track, Breathcatcher. This is an interesting title. This one caught my attention because I feel just on first glance it could be interpreted in a number of ways by the listener as well. I mean, the image that it makes me think of, and somebody will have something completely different to me, is Breathcatcher is someone having a really severe anxiety or panic attack, struggling to catch a breath. Again, the other people out there will have something completely different, but that's just what popped into my mind. So I just wondered what the title represents, the theme and the lyrics, and this definitely continues that opener for sure, musically.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that, because in the end, that's always the goal. No, from when you're writing lyrics, that it's quite universal and that everybody can, get a certain emotion from it, whether or not we meant it like that or not. I think that's very important. But indeed, I think that it goes in that direction that you said. So, but on the other hand, in the chorus, we also say, don't exaggerate, get yourself together, and move on. So it also has a very some kind of positive message, I think, because I sing, do you think you're the only one who failed to live under the sun? So it's also a message to always keep going and try to cope with things, and be happy again, or something like that.
That's cool to hear, because it's heavy music, and obviously heavy music, you have the dark themes that go with that sound, but there's still that positivity which I think you have to have with these issues, because without that hope, without that optimism, there would be no way out, and you would be stuck in that cycle. So that's really good that there's still this message where, in a way, I guess it's saying, like, do you want to be this beast, or be faced dealing with this beast for however long, or are you going to move past this beast, maybe shed the skin, become something else, or go through the beast, and you've escaped that conundrum. Yeah, perfect way of plugging the album title. There's people sat in, he's on the payroll.
Not at all.
No.
It's amazing what interpretations people can think when you are saying things on the show, that's for sure, but that's a whole other area. The next one, Across the Sticks, again, this had I have a very visual imagination, so yes, I did see the Grim Reaper on the boat ferrying souls across immediately, but I just wondered what the title represents, and if you could outline some of the themes within the lyrics, and if there's perhaps something, maybe another metaphor hidden underneath.
Yeah, sure. Well, I assume that you know what the Styx is and what it means. It's from the Greeks, and Charon, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it in English, takes the dead over the river, and so on. And this song is actually about dementia.
Wow.
And dealing with somebody who experienced that, and how you deal with that, and eventually you will bring them to the Styx, and the ferryman will do the rest. No.
Yeah.
So it's actually maybe less metaphoric than the other two songs. Quite straightforward. But that was the central theme. Yeah.
So when you were all, Tony mentioned about translating the words through music. Is it the same for you, Kristof, when you're making this music first, before you add the lyrics and the words? Do you have that field in mind of that particular emotion or concept, and think, right, I'm going to play how I'm doing an awful way of describing this, but I'm taking a guess here. But do you play in how do you play as if you are experiencing that emotion and how it feels, or am I completely off? You just play the music because am I overthinking?
Well, I'm not sure if it's such a conscious process.
Yeah,
Most of the time, you take your guitar and you start to play and you write, I don't know, 20 riffs, and none of them are good. And then you have that one riff that's amazing. But having those kind of feelings immediately, no, that's not the case.
mm,
The whole thinking process and the concept and the lyrics, no, that's a different stage, I think.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
don't. It's not something like Kristof comes to rehearsal with the complete song. That's never the case. He
yeah,
always comes with lots of riffs.
yeah.
We say he has a little riff shop with him at home.
Riff
So and
Shop
then
Factory.
the riff shop, and then he comes to the rehearsal and he says, I found something," and then he starts. Sometimes, like he said, he comes with 5 riffs, and we all say like, "Nah,
Yeah,
it's not really that." But we are always very fair to each other. If we don't think it's good enough, then it's not good enough, and there's no tension or so. So
yeah,
we know we all want to make the best. And then when we find like riffs and stuff, Keem, the solo guitarist, starts to look for solos. The bass and I start to make something to as a foundation for the riff, and then there's like some rough version of the song that comes to existence, and I think from there, that's the point where the lyrics come in and the emotions can come in, and then it does happen that the rough version of the song is unrecognizably from the end product. That does happen. um, but the process of the emotions and the lyrics start when we have like a rough version
yeah.
of a song that with riffs we like and bass and something like that. So then comes the second phase where you talk about
But most of the time, it
development.
starts with. So I am writing riffs, and then Tony does the drums, and from there we start normally, because every band
Yeah,
has its kind of procedure how they work,
Mm,
yeah,
and we always start like that, and after that the bass and the lead guitar come in, and then yeah, the final thing that we always do is the vocals and the lyrics always.
here's a question for you then, based on that. I've noticed through a lot of conversations with guests, the creative process, as you rightly just said, Kristof, can be different for each band. I know now, you can get bands where they have members around different parts of the world and they'll record their bit, they'll send that over to the other one, they'll do their bit. I'm not knocking that, saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's great if there's someone you've always wanted to work with, but obviously is in another country and you can't easily get there. That's fine. But on
Mhm.
the flip, would you prefer working together with friends like Tony, where you've got that close relationship, that good chemistry, where you can bring your riffs, you can
Mhm.
work through the music, the whole process together, obviously enjoy it, have fun doing it, but you're there together in person, so you can organically edit, improve, add something there and then. Is that method something you would always
mm,
prefer over the other?
Definitely,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, we
And, and like, and it's not only with Tony, but also with Kim
yeah,
and
Yeah,
Jelle, the bassist, because yeah, I think we are more than just band members. So we also friends. So we always have fun, and
yeah,
yeah, definitely the second one, the second thing.
yeah.
yeah,
But we do kind of have a hybrid way of working. Like we
Hmm.
do rehearse every week and see each other and try stuff out. But when there's an idea that we think is worth working on, then we do record at home. So then I also do have my e-drum here upstairs. So it's more enjoyable for everyone when I want to try something on the drums and the rest of the band doesn't have to play the same riff for like 30 minutes, so I can like search something
Long riff.
I'm happy with. So those parts we do mostly at home. So like to just find the exact drum line, I can just put it on repeat and like play it for 2 hours, and it's very easy for me. I can search as long as I want, because I know we do rehearse, and it's nice to play music. It's not always that nice to have to like repeat the same piece over and over and over, because someone needs to find like just the right solo or the right accent, and it's necessary, but we try to skip that part in the rehearsal and try to make the finishing touches at home. And then like because we do rehearse every week, we come together and we try it out. Sometimes it works fine, sometimes it's not that good, then we go back home and just make some other adjustments. So it's really a hybrid way of working. It's very productive, I think.
Yeah, it really allows us to be very productive, because I think if we would like to, we can go to the studio tomorrow and another album. So, so there's a lot of stuff waiting to be recorded as well. So
I think I would prefer it that way, because I would be an issue I deal with sometimes, patience, because I'd be like, I want to get this done, but no, I have to wait till whoever sends me their riff, their part, their vocals, whatever, and I think if I did, no, we can get in the studio tomorrow and we can get this done, and I'd be there, because I'm like, no, I want to get this done, and then once that's out, and then already start working on something else. So for sure. The now this is the one. Here's the fun track, the one I'm gonna have such problems pronouncing. So that's why I'm gonna get you. It's the band. Do this for me. I'm like, oh, deep breath.
You can try. Go ahead.
Oh, this will be hilarious. I'm learning Spanish, Italian, and Japanese, and my language pronunciation skills on this show don't really serve as a good example for someone that's trying to learn. Oh man, is it Uamua?
Not exactly.
Oh well, completely off.
But if you want it to be like that, it's just fine.
Yeah, because it's African, so we also don't really know how to pronounce it exactly. So but Umwamwa is actually a cigar-like object in space.
I wondered if it was that. What had been sighted or come in space? I wondered. Yeah.
And I'm not sure, but I think it means something like that, like far from home or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a very good title for a song. So
because I remember, that's been on many documentaries. It was like that long cigar-shaped object, wasn't it, that come into our solar system, and it had its like own flight path, and I think turned at some point in space and was traveling at a ridiculously high speed. That's why a lot of these experts and everything were saying, look, this has come from somewhere. This is some kind of craft or probe or whatever. It's come in our system, because this isn't behaving, say, like a regular asteroid or something like that.
No, because it was really the form that was really weird and never seen actually. So
yes. So did you choose that title, as you said, it means far from home, for maybe somebody personally feeling far away from who they are?
Totally. Yeah, because I think it's also at least for me, the most aggressive song.
Very.
And here it's less positive, because here it's about making wrong decisions, but that also happens. So that was the main theme for that song. Less personal, I think, but again, the music dictated to be very angry and aggressive, and yeah, that's how we came up with that. So.
Did you both enjoy playing the music for this one? I know you like, as you said,
Yeah.
Kristof, you like to go from, aggressive to clean as well, but I guess to have an absolute rager in there as well, just like, yeah, we're gonna get, must have been fun.
Yeah, it's very nice to play.
For Tony, I think it's amazing to play.
Yeah. I always like when we do it live. I always like it in the beginning of the set because it takes up a lot of energy. But I think I saw the set list for our upcoming release show next month here in Ghent, and I think it's in the end. So I do have to work out a little bit more, so I can keep up, but it shouldn't be a problem. So
yeah, I would imagine that'll be one people really enjoy live as well for that reason.
Yeah,
listening. I will come back to that release show near the end as well, so we can get word out about that. So I won't forget that. So the next one, rather simple one to pronounce, actually, P97.
Yeah.
Yay. The island dweller would manage to say 3 letters. There's hope. So, again, I just wondered what you could tell us a bit about the themes with this one.
Well,
and
the title is very straightforward.
Yeah,
it's even for me.
The 97 is actually the beats per minute of the song.
Whoa.
And the P is, it has to do with, I wrote the song and I didn't have a title. And therefore, I just called it Probeer 97. And probeer in Dutch is try.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a word and then the beats per minute. And in the end, we thought, well, let's keep it that way. And therefore, let's
we did search from other titles, but we didn't came up with any. We all thought, that this fits the song. So in the end, we just abbreviated the word with a P as a P.
We became so used to the title, we just kept it. So that's exactly how it went.
Nice. So it's not as my mind was overthinking again, kind of like James Bond movie-esque. I know he has a wealth of PK, but P97, nothing.
No, sometimes it is very simple.
I'd say that's a problem, man. I sit on every show having an overactive imagination and thinking visually. It never shuts off. It really doesn't. So is this just a direct in your face song, lyrically as well? Any particular themes with this one?
Well, like Across the Sticks, actually, it's a very personal song. Again, it's about living with someone who has a depression, and all the stuff you have to deal with. Things that happen, and how do you react, and what is the best reaction, and how do you help someone like that, and these kind of issues, because that's there are a lot of possibilities, but what possibility is the right one? And maybe the conclusion is always that there isn't a good time is the best solution to solve that kind of problem. So
it's very difficult because you don't want to feel like you're putting too much pressure on that person, potentially push them more inward towards themselves, so they then feel like they're a burden to you, feel like they're a nuisance to everyone, retreat more inward. So it's an extremely difficult, challenging problem to deal with, especially if it's someone that you're in a relationship with, a family member, or a close friend. And sometimes it is just, as you said, time, that person working through it themselves, which there's some, I get some people can be opposite. Well, that's not always the best way, but it really depends, because if you kind of, I think, still don't respect that person's boundaries to a point, you can make them feel under pressure. So
the vocals are also a Q&A. So the hard vocals is actually the person who has the depression who is speaking, and then the the clean vocals are actually the person who lives with that person who is speaking to him. Then
Fantastic.
it's like that. Yeah,
It's more. It's like dialogue.
and again, the clean vocals are very, very positive.
Yeah.
Because of course that person wants to help the one who's angry because he fell into a depression. That's actually that was the whole idea. So very positive song actually also.
Yeah, got that positive message that there is a way out, that you can get past this. I love that with the vocal arrangement for the the concept and narration point and the character and the story and the song. That's marvelous.
And again at the end, again it's there are screams again. So it's, again. The person with the depression who is yelling because he doesn't want that. He wants to move on, but it doesn't work like that, and it's difficult. And that was the whole idea.
I noticed that with the change in pace and rhythm with the music, when you're going fast to slow in parts. So that's interesting because it's like musically representing those emotions as well, like the hot and the calm, the hot and the calm. So really interesting. Massacre, next one. I was able to say that one too. There's hope. I might have learned a sentence in some of the languages I'm studying. Yay. But the same again. Before I'm gonna have to behave myself because I've just seen I know what the name is of the next song. I'm such a nerd, man. So just the same again, Massacre. If you could just break it down for us, the inspiration behind the title, the same, the lyrics, and how you feel the music represents those themes.
Well, it has a little bit new metal vibe, maybe in the beginning. Maybe some Cornish like music, but the whole idea was actually it's again very personal, and it's about the end of a long relationship, and therefore the title Massacre, because for the person that experienced it, it was like a massacre because the whole world fell on his shoulders. So.
Yeah,
so that's basically, and also again the clean part. Well, the beginning is you go through a lot of emotions when you experience something like that. So in the beginning, you're very angry because you don't understand it and why did you do that and so on. But then we have a more, I would say, a poppy part or something like that, so more melodic, and there the vocals are again clean, and then the emotion is different because then he's very kind, and he's just asking from please come back, and we can make this work and so on, and but again that emotion towards the end of the song again changes. And then he actually accepts it, what happened. So that again was the whole idea of the emotion and the vocals throughout the song, actually.
It's got that a very relatable experience for people, and a sadness there, but still hope that hey, we can go on and got to keep going as well. Really, it was a really interesting title as well. And now hearing the deeper dive on that really does, I think, testify to somebody who's gone through that kind of situation, because it is like the whole world has just been taken away from them.
Exactly.
Face this new reality, what they're not used to. It's like, whoa! Just the first thing is why, what's happened. So the next,
no problem, but also a lot of anger, and then actually, I think almost every emotion that exists, you will experience throughout when something happens like that, of course.
Yeah, and there's that, and there can be that numbness as well at first, the shock of it, and then, as you said, it's almost like somebody's giving you an adrenaline shot later, but not in a good way. The other, so, yeah, Gaz always inspiring people. Yay! The next one, I had to behave myself, and I've waited until we got to this. Atlantis, man, being such a nerd, I'm interested in all those areas as well, as you probably gathered earlier. So yeah, my visual mind, yeah, I'm seeing it now as I'm talking about it. Antillians and everything's already playing like a movie in my head. So
Yeah.
is there? Sorry, go on, Kristof.
No. It does start with the sound of the waves. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is this song then? It's probably going to be something different. Me overthinking. Is it about Atlantis, or is it about something else?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely very metaphoric, this song, because I think it's the lyrics also are maybe the most harsh lyrics or something like that. It's on a battlefield, and
Yeah.
maybe sometimes a little bit cliche or something like that. But yeah, I'm really into myths and so on, and I really thought that, well, Atlantis is, yeah, the land that well, no one will ever discover Atlantis, of course, but we all think that that it exists. And I think especially that idea, I thought was very interesting in the context of Conundrum, of the we always looking for something, and maybe yeah, what we are looking for we will never find, or something like that. I think that was the main idea of the song Atlantis, and of course the start of the song with these waves and the sea is a direct direct hint to Atlantis, of course. But it was always also well, I also liked it because I'm a historian, a maritime historian. So for me, it was also a little bit funny to hear the sea on the CD as well.
I have no idea now, just hearing that, how hard it is for me now to behave myself, not to go incredibly hyper and just jump on that alone. I'm already thinking maritime historian. It's going in my head. Oh my God, you've got to come on the show and let's do something on maritime history. I co-host another channel outside of this one called Planet X Films, and Ross, my buddy, huge myth and history guy as well. And when I tell him this later, because I'm going to say, dude, I just taught this awesome sludge band. I said, one of them is a maritime historian. Like, he will instantly WhatsApp me back, like, bro, get him on the show, get him on the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to, as you were saying there about Atlantis, and I'm trying to remember that other, there's a lost continent of Mu, and then there's another one which they feel is like another kind of Atlantis. Oh man, and it's been in various settings for fantasy novels, movies, and it's not Atlantis. And I'm trying to find the name, and it's not the lost continent of Mu either. But it's like, I guess, the other Atlantis that isn't as well known and doesn't get talked about as much. Because everyone obviously has a theory on Atlantis, where it's located. Right, we found this structure. Some people think the Caribbean. I think the most recent one was in a part of Spain, I believe. So many theories. As the album, has only recently come out, that's quite a nice bit of good promotion for it as well, because that's a perfect segue to say, well, Aquaman 2 is released next week, so
sure.
Get the musical version as well.
It would have been great if they would have used the song, but
it really wouldn't. The music that you're often subjected to in those movies as well, where you're saying, like, oh god, man.
But maybe the idea about one thing about Atlantis is maybe also the idea, I think, was you don't always have to go with the flow or something like that, or do whatever, or what the majority would do or something like that. Just follow your own path, even though some decisions might differ or something like that. It's not because everybody's looking for Atlantis that you have to search for it too, or something like that. I don't think.
That's right. And I've remembered the name of the other continent I was thinking of. It's Lemuria. That's it. It's supposed to theorize to have sunk beneath the Indian Ocean. That's the one. It doesn't get talked about so much, but it's starting to get a little bit more traction now in various documentary series. I think as human beings, we're always fascinated. Myths, legends, what was lost, was there was something before, who built this structure, for example, and I eat all that up. I love it. I'll never get bored of it because for the reasons I've said. I do feel it was a good, powerful one as well to close out the album. You know how you started with the first one. I feel that maintains it. Reminds folks before we get into the instrumental of the Mua. That was a bit better.
Yeah.
If I hear how it's pronounced, I can get a little bit better. So yeah, did you want to leave folks with a good, solid song as the close to make that album a memorable? See, I can't even speak English. Memorable. You know, and encourage them obviously to listen again because I feel it does that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But we really felt that. Well, we started with the first track, so Arrivals, and we knew that Atlantis would be the last track, and then we started to lay the puzzle or something like that. So that's how we started the first and the last song, because Atlantis builds to a climax, and therefore we always like that when such a song is at the end of a record. So.
Yeah, and you have like I said, the instrumental for Mua. Did you just want to put that on there just to show people literally the version without the vocals?
Yeah. Well, we thought that it's a powerful song, and there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes also vocals take away some details, and therefore we decided, there's still time on the record. Why wouldn't we put an instrumental version on it? And then we discussed what song that would be, and eventually we chose Umuamua. So.
And I noticed both here as well. Perfect excuse for me to talk about the merchandise here. You've got the shirts you're wearing from the different colours that are on the store. Lovely. There's nothing wrong with that, man. There is a green version of the shirt as well, military green. You've got ladies V-neck, LEP logo shirt as well, and there's some bundles, and there's a blue version, khaki. Lots and lots of different colours. Beast on one of the shirts as well. There's a nice range there for people to choose from, and also I love the disc of the vinyl as well. The cover of that is great. So
it's mustard green. The color of the vinyl.
Could I ask you kindly just to show us the vinyl again, just so folks they can get reminders so we can see that beautiful artwork? Let's get that out there. Ooh, yeah, lovely.
And this is.
Oh wow! Look at this, folks. Ooh, I'm in nerd heaven. Yeah, really, really beautiful. Do you have any other planned merchandise to come to support the album, or any videos to support the tracks? And just wondering.
Well, we already have some videos.
Just wonder if you have any more planned.
Yeah. But I don't think we.
I don't think we have something that has to be released.
Yeah.
But I think all the videos are in the open at the moment. So
I think we still have a playthrough of
yeah,
one
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
that the guitarist and I recorded. But that's more some sort of nerdy video, because it's more for people who are very interested to
with close-up shots of the fingers and the accents. So
yeah. I'm just wondered where did you film Arrivals, because I noticed that was out in like a field, and you see
I feel, yeah,
maybe some are possible other farmhouses in the background, or
well, it's actually recorded in the Netherlands. We have this tradition, like for 10 years, once a year, we have a studio with bedrooms above it, and we go there with the band every year for like 4 or 5 days, and it's like the band's holiday. We can just rehearse all day, and in the evening just have some fun, watch some movies. And like last time, we thought it's a very nice environment, let's just record the clips for the video here and see what it gives. And when I did the editing, it came out like that. It was very nice.
Yeah, Tony edited the whole thing, so he did a wonderful job, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually the IT guy. IT is my job, so all the technical stuff comes into my mailbox, and but I like it. So I can fill my evenings with editing stuff, and it's also the kind of a hobby. So
because also the Breathcatcher video was also edited by Tony, which we recorded in our rehearsal studio. So.
Nice. I do like that part in Arrivals. I think it's about a minute in, and you got the hoodie up.
Yeah,
just a random moment, but I thought that was quite funny. I like that.
Well, I still have some acting lessons to do.
Yeah,
you're getting there.
It was the first try to encapsulate like a small story in the video clip.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really fantastically acted and it comes out very good, but it's a nice sketch. It's otherwise it does give some other impulses. Otherwise, it was always filming the field, so it's a nice break between the live shots to put in.
And for us, it's also very important to be not too serious or something like that.
Yeah,
exactly. You still need a bit of comedy, don't you?
Yeah, indeed.
Because especially when it's about, and I know you've got the hopeful message in your music and lyrics. I know that's still there, but we still need that bit of humor, that bit of a giggle. I laugh at myself all the time. Make gaffes on the show. Sometimes it happens. It's organic. It's live. But that's it's to give it that nice balance. Otherwise, you'd just be too miserable all the time, and that's no fun. And I thought it was really funny. It caught my attention. I just liked the way that.
Yeah,
I love random stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not because you play metal or heavy rock or something that you also always have to be serious. I mean, we also have pictures where we are just laughing or something like that, and not
of course.
Suppose that we are.
Oh no, where they've always got they always have to do this.
No, that's
no.
And
look, and I'm not saying anybody on that, because I love loads of death metal and hardcore and grindcore. A lot to excuse me, I do, but sometimes you think when you see about 10 pictures or more, with a pigeon chest out.
You want to break free of the cliche of the band picture and dark clothes in some abandoned industrial building next to each other, all looking angry at the camera. No, it's certainly not something bad, but we try to break free from that, because we do have to sometimes just laugh and
Yeah.
we don't always take it seriously, and it's also a hobby. It has to be fun. You have to laugh and make fun, and it's
Yeah.
not because the songs are about heavy stuff you can't just be.
But in the end, everybody has to do what he thinks he has to do. I mean, we don't judge, but
Same.
music is very subjective. So
Yeah.
let everybody do his thing, and then you see if there's an audience for it or not.
Definitely.
That's how it works. If you look at vocals, for instance, there are 5 people who like what I'm doing, but there will always be also 5 people who don't like it. So and that's perfect.
Yeah, that's fine. Indeed, there has to be some music and some style for everybody. Even though some music you can't or I can't listen to because it horrifies me, but then other people get fed up with it and think it's heavenly. So, like Kristof says, we don't judge.
Yeah, the same. It's very much a mood thing. It's about that balance. And look, I'm not sat here saying, "Hey, is any bad on bands that want to stick the chest out, their arms folded, and like they've come out the gym and rock out and destroy everything, blah blah blah."
Sure.
Yeah, I know that works, but I'm saying it's also nice too, as you were saying, to have that break to sometimes put in a picture of people laughing and smiling because everybody is human. We're not always going to walk around. No, I'm not always going to do that. So, and again, there's bands that do.
And it's the same for the music. We like melody, we like emotion, but nothing wrong if you don't like melody and if you don't like emotion, or it's the same thing.
It's not because we play hard riffs we can't put in a little poppy piece of where it's more like that you want to go when you hear it.
Yeah,
it's when it fits.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We are actually thinking now to do some acoustic stuff as well. So.
All right, that's cool. So, I was just about to say, I think it depends on the genre as well, because some genres, are meant to be brutal, fast, hard, and heavy, and going melodic wouldn't work with that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
With the feel that you guys are doing, I thought, like I said earlier, you've blended it quite nicely because there is a lot of, as I said earlier, there is a lot of monstrous, thunderous, really big riffs, aggressive parts. But what I think is nice, the melodic parts that come in, you do it quite subtle, where and people may be thinking, oh, does it go into a mellow death band or anything like that? No, it's actually done very, very subtle, folks. It comes in for a section or two, and then it goes back to the, the aggressive and harsh, definitely highlighting a lot of the themes and concepts that Kristof has been telling us about today. So I feel it's the way you've arranged it has really pulled it off. So you mentioned it
also has to do, by the way, with what Ace Zach did, because he mixed the album, and I think he did really a wonderful job.
He did a terrific job indeed.
Yeah, so he's
had that's really important. Who mixes the album and who masters the album is well, you have to spend time to look for the right guy always, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Tony.
Yeah, he really did a terrific job with all the songs. Sometimes, I think there's a song where he just left out some of my hi-hats in a certain part, and I thought, that's strange. He left out something, but when I listen to it, it's like, maybe it's better, and he puts his own ideas in the music. So some of the magic is also from his hand. So it's very nice. We didn't have to ask. So he just listened to it, and I think he organically decided maybe this, if I just tweak this little bit over here, it makes it 10% better or so. So we are very fond of his work indeed.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, well, he's not the guy who's just mixing. He interprets the music, and he also does his own thing and brings some flavor of his own to the music, and we really like that. And indeed, also some vocals have disappeared, so there's also quite a stubbornness. But I really like that. That's really working together, I think. That's great if a music engineer is like that.
So it sounds like to me that the way I'm interpreting that answer, it's really important, as you said, to have the right music engineer who's going to do your music justice in every area, but also if they have something that they feel they can bring and that is going to improve that, reduce the vocals say on this section or whatever, then as you said, research time, find the right person to work with to get that best version of you out there for us. I thought that was thanks for telling us about that.
And it must be payable, of course.
Within the budget, of course, because hey, you want access to the A-list movie score producers or something, wouldn't it? Like, hey, can you just do but there's coughing attack now.
But it's nice to have someone who is actually like the fifth ear, who listens to the music and try to adjust it, than someone who just takes it and mixes it and puts it on the disc and says it's ready. So it's very...
you really need an ear that doesn't know the music. I think that's also very important, but who is very familiar with the genre as well. So that combination works very well.
Fresh perspective. You mentioned earlier as well, Tony, you've got a release show coming up, and I said I didn't want to forget that. So let's plug that, get the word out for folks. That's coming up in Ghent, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. It's January 13th, I think. In Trefpunt in Ghent. The poster is almost finished, so coming on Facebook anytime now. Just we also had got in touch with Dick Diggler, who does the I don't know the word in English. The show before,
Pre-show.
Yes, thank you, Kristof. Thank you. So everything is coming together fine, and it will be a blast, I think. So,
so folks, get out there.
We are really looking forward to that show. So.
So have you had some good feedback about the album? I'm just curious, what have people been saying about it?
Actually, but it also has to do with our label, Argonauta Records. Well, they actually did a wonderful job because they are working together with Grand Sounds, and well, they are doing a very nice job in promoting the album. So we also had different reviews and so on. And most of these reviews are quite positive and even very positive. So it's great to see that it's welcomed in that way, the album.
Definitely. I've just realised that the Gaz Gaff, I said earlier, I got the promo from Against PR. No, I didn't. I got it from Grand Sounds PR. That's the only unfortunate side, being hit up by 900 PR companies.
Of course.
It's endless. Not complaining.
Because we also made the Doom charge of November, for instance. So.
Quite high, I think.
Yeah, 12
or so. Like,
it's
really amazing to see that. A lot of people are digging the album. So
we're very proud of the result, but it's very nice to see that other people also like it very much.
Yeah. So before I do wrap things up today, I do want to ask you a couple of other quick questions. You mentioned an acoustic EP, I think, Kristof. So loaded question again. I've been asking throughout the show. I always do. So here we go. Have you started working on the next release to follow on from Conundrum? I know it might be very early to say. And also relating to the acoustic EP, is that something that you're hoping to drop sometime next year?
The acoustic thing, definitely not. That's more of a side project, I think. But
Okay.
we are definitely already working on
Yeah.
new material, and some of that material is actually already finished for 90%,
Ready, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But it will be a little bit different. It will be more atmospheric at certain points, much more clean vocals. Again, because the music is asking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you write music, you have different stages in your life, and it's always changing. That makes it also very attractive to make music, I think. But it will still sound like Left Eye Perspective.
Yeah, of course.
So there are still heavy riffs and so on, but
Yeah. Maybe a little more mystical touch sometimes, I think, some songs.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious already. I was about to try and ask in a way of not revealing too much about the next themes to behave, but that little nice Easter egg, I guess, there, Tony, about the mythical themes, that has me. I need to behave, because if I start commenting on one of the songs on Conundrum, I'll end up giving away the whole thing. So just say yes. That's inserted in my mind. I'm going to remember that now.
And the acoustics thing is still more of a kind of ID, because we only have, I think, one song or something like that. So
yeah,
that's more of a side project, and we will see how it develops in time.
That's really interesting, knowing you've already got this. You've already got material there recorded. I liked what you said. How yeah, she'll have the clean vocals, but still has that core, that soul essence of Left Eye Perspective. And people can sometimes make the mistake that music can't be heavy if it's not got clean vocals. Something the same they can say about Doom, because and I'm saying this as a brutal death, hardcore, grime fan as well. Of course, I like other styles too.
Well, I'm, for instance, a big fan of Tesseract, and they prove that clean vocals are amazing on heavy music. So
yeah. And even with Doom, it doesn't always have to be fast either. You can get some stupidly monstrous riffs with the clean vocals, the drums as well, and it's still heavy. It's still heavy music. So, be very interested. When that's out, you'll have to come put all of you back on the show, maybe with some of the other members, and do a deep dive into it again.
Yeah, sure.
Very interested to do that with you. Folks, I want to thank you for those who are watching live and those who watch back later. It is greatly appreciated. Don't forget to support and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything that is happening. I will be renaming it to Mosh Shinobi when I get a chance. At the moment, I'm a little swamped, so hopefully I've done little bits, but I'm working on getting as many guests on for you all before we hit the holidays. So I plan to try and exhaust myself this week and the same next week. So that's what I'm doing, folks. I'll put all the links to Left Eye in the description, so go follow them, support them, especially if you like thunderous riffs as well, concept albums, and a nice change with vocals as well, from clean to aggressive. It's all there for you. Thanks to Kristof and Tony for tolerating my nerding and randomness as well. Greatly appreciated. Oh, you're very welcome, Kristof. Oh, dude, I seriously would like to do a show on maritime history with you. I'm gonna hit up Buddy Ross. We'll multi-stream it. That has got to happen with History Nerds, man. What have you let yourself in for?
Yeah, tumbling down the rabbit hole.
yeah. So, folks, I'm going to hit end stream where we've always got that delay. Now you look very uncomfortable as I'm like looking like, has it finished? So comedy pause time as we hit end stream. Thanks to Kristof and Tony again.
Yeah.
So here we go, folks.